Aloha ukulele class. This is lesson 8. Today we're going to do some more harmonization, more than two-part this time. And we're going to learn a new scale, and we're going to talk about reading some notes on your ukulele. In lesson 7, we went over how to read the treble clef and notes on the A string. So you were supposed to do the notes on the A string page and figure that out. We'll review that a little bit and do notes on the E string as well today. So the documents you need to have out for this lesson are going to be Amazing Grace Harmony, our 5 positions of the major scale, notes on the A string, and notes on the E string. Okay, let's do the scales first. So we've done position 1, position 2, and position 3 already, so you should have those memorized and be able to play those along with the example recording. We're going to be working with those for the rest of the semester, so you need to know those pretty well. So position 1, position 2, position 3, okay, and now we're going to do position 4. All right, so position 4 starts out just like position 2. Do 0, 2, 4, 5, and play the 5 with your pinky finger like this. And then you're going to switch all the way up to 7 with your first finger. And this is position 4, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, like this. So we're going to go 7 with the first finger, 9 with the ring finger, next string 7 with the first finger, 8 with the middle finger, 10 with the pinky, next string 7 with the first finger, 8 with the middle finger, 10 with the pinky. All right. Position 3, if you remember, was like this: 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. So you have this interlocking thing with position 3 and position 4. It's kind of like the pieces to a puzzle. So position 3 goes like this on the C string: 5, 7, and position 4 is 7, 9, like this. Position 3, 5, 7, 8 on the E string, and position 4, 7, 8, 10. So they share those 2 notes in common there, the 7 and the 8. Position 3 on the A string: 5, 7, 8, and position 4, 7, 8, 10, like that. Okay, and then let's do that again and then go up and all the way back down the scale. So starting out in position 2, we go 0, 2, 4, 5 with the first finger, ring finger, and the pinky. Switch all the way up to 7, 7, 9 with the ring finger, and then we go to the next string: 7, 8, 10 with the first finger, middle finger, and the pinky finger, and then the A string, same thing: 7, 8, 10. So I think position 3 and position 4 are some of the easiest ones, because that makes it very easy when it's the same thing on both the E and the A string. Much easier to remember. And now let's go down the scale. So starting on 10 on the A string: 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, 7, 9, 7. And then we want to switch back to our pinky on 5 here. Pinky on 5, ring finger on 4, first finger on 2, C string open. So it's really important that you use the same fingers when you're coming down the scale as when you're going up the scale. That creates this consistency and symmetry. And very important to follow the fingerings exactly. Whether I'm talking about a chord fingering, we've had a lot of problems with that, with people trying to do their own fingerings, and you're free to do that, in your free time or when the class is over, to explore alternate fingerings. But the ones that I'm presenting to you, I think they're the best ones. They're the easiest ones for the beginners, and they get the best and most consistent tone. So that's why I want everyone to do it that way. Learn the fingerings the right way first, and then explore alternate ways of doing it later on in your free time. But as far as the assignments go, I'm pretty strict about telling people that you're not doing the fingerings correctly. Okay, so that's position 4. There's only one more to do after that, and that's position 5. And we'll probably do that next week and have all 5 positions happening. And then we'll talk about some ways of practicing those to expand on what we've already learned. So memorizing the positions, that's sort of just like the first step. So you want to make sure you take care of that, because when we take the next step, they have to be memorized before we can continue on with the other things, like playing the scales with the backing track, doing improvisation, things like that. Fun things that you want to be ready for when we get there. Okay. Next up is Amazing Grace harmony. So before we did Ode to Joy with the 2-part harmony, and that's, you just have to read 2 different notes. And harmony is definitely something we want to add always, because it just sounds so much more complete, so much cooler than just playing the single note melody. This one is different though. For Amazing Grace, we don't have to read every single note, although you do want to pay attention to what the numbers in the tab say. But this one is more like we just hold down chords like F and D minor and C. Some chords you already know, and we might learn a couple new chords like F7 and B flat today. So on this one, we just hold the chords down, and you'll strum either 2 strings from the G string, or you'll strum 3 strings also from the G string, or you'll strum all 4 strings. So when you're strumming just 2 strings, like I just say I want to just strum, let me play F. Let's hold down F. Say I want to just play the G string and the C string together. So the way I want to do that is with the rest strum, which we talked about before when we did Ode to Joy. So I strum those 2 strings, and I rest my thumb against the E string to stop. And then the same thing, if I want to strum 3 strings, I'm going to stop my thumb on the A string, like so. And then if it's all 4 strings, it's just, that's the easiest thing to do. You don't have to stop. So let's do the rest strum for the G and the C strings. So we're going to stop on the E. Ready? And one more time. You just want to practice that. That's the most accurate, most consistent way to get that done. And let's do the rest strum for these three strings, G, C, and E. So we're going to stop on the A string this time. Ready? And... Okay, so the thing I want you to think about when you're practicing this song is to hold your chord for as long as possible until you're forced to switch. And you'll see as we go, that's really important. So you don't want to have to switch as much as possible. You don't want to have to switch. So you just hold the chord. So first thing you want to do, get your F chord, set that up. And then we're going to play this first note here, 0, and that's a note that's already in your chord. Okay, and then this next one, 2, 0, 1. So when I'm playing F, those are the notes I'm holding. I've got my middle finger on 2, I've got the C string open, and I've got my first finger holding down the 1. So most of the chords are gonna be like that. So you play the chord from the chord chart, and then you'll already be holding down the notes that it's saying to play. Okay, so that one we just strum those 3 strings, but not the A string, because you see there's nothing there. It's just indicating these 3 strings. Okay, so let's do that again. 0 on the C string, that's this note. Ready? And then these 3 together, stopping on the A string. Okay, these next 2 notes, I'm still holding those notes down. So A string open and E string 1. So that whole time I don't have to do anything over here except hold F. Okay, let's do that again. 0, chord without the A string, 0, 1. Okay, then F7, if you look that chord up in your chord chart, it's like F, and then you add your ring finger here to the C string on the 3rd fret. Okay, and you'll see the numbers on the tab line up with that. I've got a 2 on the G string, a 3 on the C string, a 1 from the E string. So even if you didn't have your chord chart handy, you could just look at the tabs and figure out what the chord you're supposed to play is. Okay, so F7, and since we only have to add that 1 note, that's another really good reason why we want to just keep holding F, because all we have to do to switch to F7 is just add that note and then play all 4 strings like this. Okay, let's go back to the beginning and play just that much. Okay, so hold your F, 0, chord without the A string, add your note to make your F7, all 4 of them. Okay, here we can take our chord off because this next note is a note that's not in your F7 chord. So we just play that single note, and then we're going to switch to B flat. Alright, if you look up B flat in your chord chart, you'll see it's like this: 3 on the G string, 2 on the C string, 1 on the E string, and also 1 on the A string. So this is an interesting chord. It's everyone's first bar chord. Well, I guess we've already done 1 bar chord. We did the D7. That's a full bar. This one is where we just bar across the E string and the A string, like that. Now on this song, we don't need to do the bar because we never have to play this note on the A string. So you can just play your B flat like this: 3, 2, 1, because we're not going to play the A string when we play that chord. Okay, let's do B flat. So 3 strings again, no A string. Ready? Then the next note, we're already holding it down, 2 on the C string. Ready? And then for F, all we have to do is take this finger off and then move this finger to the G string. We don't need to lift our first finger at all. And that's a good strategy for this, because say we lifted it all off and then we put this finger back in the same place, that's a waste of motion. So B flat back to F, take your ring finger off and move this finger to the G string. That's all you have to do, okay? The strategy on this song is to move our fingers as little as possible. Okay, now measure 4, we're gonna just strum those 2 strings, G and C together. Ready? And no E string. We rest our thumb on the E string that time. 0, that's part of the chord. And also the next chord is gonna be F again, so we definitely don't wanna move. Strum 3 strings this time. F. That was this one, and then the next one, we're still holding our chord. 0, 1, those are both notes that we're already holding down. And D minor, all we have to do is add the ring finger, but this time on the 2nd fret of the C string for D minor. All 4 strings. Ready? And okay. Then for this one, that's a note that's not in the chord, so we're gonna just take the chord off and play that single note. And then here's the easy part. C, all 4 strings. And then C7, all 4 strings. That's this. So C is like this one on the 3rd fret. C7 is just this note, 1st fret of the A string. Ready? And C7. Then the 0, we have to take our finger off for that note. Okay, now here's the tricky part. Measure 9. We're gonna play F, except you'll notice there's one note that we're not holding down, and that's this one on the A string. So we got 2 on the G string, 0 on the C string, 1 on the E string, but then instead of a 0, it's a 3 on the A string. And this is a note that can be added to F, and it doesn't change the chord symbol, it's still just F. Okay, so it's F, and then we add a 3 on the A string. So that's the only chord in this chart where we have to add a note to the chord. And usually we do that with our pinky finger. That makes it an easier reach. If you try to do that with your ring finger, you might notice that it's kind of uncomfortable to do that. With the pinky, it's a little bit more relaxed. So, I mean, you could do either, but I think normally when you try to reach over to that note, you end up getting not very good position on the fret also. So F, adding the 3 on the A string with the pinky finger, that's this note here, okay? And let's do that one, all 4 strings. Ready? And okay, and we're gonna just keep holding F. We're gonna take the pinky off to play this note, 0, and then put it back, 3, and then take it off again, 0. The whole time you're not gonna do anything with this, you're just gonna keep holding F. So let's play that measure again. Pinky on 3 on the A string, all 4 strings, take it off, 0, put it back, 3, take it off, 0. And another good reason why we want to keep holding this is because we're switching to F7, and if you remember, all we have to do is add a finger to the C string 3rd fret to make F7, and we're going to strum these 3 strings, not the A string. Ready? And okay, you can take your chord off here, 0. It's probably good to leave this finger where it is to switch to B flat, and then B flat, 3, 2, 1. Strumming 2 strings. Ready? And so we stop on the E string. Let's do that again. Ready? And then these three notes, we're already holding them down, so don't move your B flat. Just play 1, 1, 2, and then switch to F. F. Strumming 2 strings on F. Then the C string open again. Don't take your F off, because when we switch to D minor, we only have to add 1 note here. 3 strings, ready, and on D minor. The next 2 notes, we're already holding them down, so keep holding D minor. 0, 1, and then this is the easiest chord of all. C6 is just all zeros, all 4 strings. It's a nice chord, very easy too. And then 3 on the E string, and then B flat, 3 strings, ready, and then F, 3 strings as well. 0, we want to keep holding F, because when we repeat it's going to be F again. Ready, F. We're going to go a little faster now. Keep holding F. 0, 1, add your ring finger to make F7. You can take it off here. B flat, C string 2, already holding that. Switch to F. Don't move this finger when you do that. C string 0, F again, 3 strings, ready, stopping the thumb on the A string. Next 2 notes, keep holding F. Add your ring finger to the C string 2nd fret to make D minor, all 4 strings. Take it off here, play a single note. C, ready, and C7, ready, and 0 on the A string. Now this is the tricky part. We're going to do F, and then we're going to add this note, A string 3rd fret with the pinky, all 4 strings, ready? Take the pinky off. Do not take off your F chord. Put your pinky back. Take your pinky off. Then F7, we're just adding a note to the C string 3rd fret this time to make F7. 3 strings, ready, and take it off. 0, C string 0, B flat. I guess, yeah, you could take this finger off, but it's probably better just to leave this finger here for F7. F7, 0, and then B flat, ready, and just 2 strings, ready, and keep holding it. E string, C string, and then F, just 2 strings here. C0. D minor is you just adding your ring finger to the C string 2nd fret. So from F to D minor, you don't move anything, you just add a note. 3 strings, ready, and keep holding D minor. 0, 1, C6 is nothing, and then 3 on the E string. B flat, ready, 3 strings, ready, and then we're going to go to the 2nd ending, the end, F, 3 strings, ready, and okay. Let me put that all together. Okay, so that's a very nice one, very nice harmony, learning some new chords, and all of that is done with the thumb. The picking and the strumming is all thumb on this one. Okay, so that's Amazing Grace harmony. If you want to get a preview of what's coming up next, you can take a look at Aloha Oi harmony. I will post that one as well. It's very similar. Where you're just holding down chords. So you might want to take a look at that one. It's very similar chords, F, B flat, C, etc. And harmonized kind of in the same way. It's just a little bit longer, slightly more complicated. But that's coming next, will be Aloha Oi harmony. Okay, let's take a look at notes on the A string. All right, let's do just a little bit of this. We're supposed to do this on your own after lesson 7. Okay, so only notes on the A string on the first 3 frets. That's all for this page. So A, so that's the A in the word face. You remember for the spaces we spell the word F-A-C-E, and this is the second space, so F-A. So that's A, so it makes perfect sense. This is the A string, and when we play it open, that's the note A. Okay, the next one, B flat. For the lines, we go every good boy does fine for the lines. So every good boy, that's B. And then this symbol here, the little b, lowercase b looking thing, is not a lowercase b, it's a flat. And that's this fret number 1 on the A string. That's B flat. Ready? And okay. And then this note has another name. It's also called A sharp. All right. So, and that's like the little hashtag sign, but it's not a hashtag. It's a sharp in this context. Okay. Sharp means that we raise the pitch, so the pitch goes up. Okay. So a sharp. So here's the note A, open. And if I put a sharp next to that note, it moves the note up 1 fret. So here's A sharp. Okay. The next note is B. Okay. That's the 2nd fret. B with no flat on it. 2nd fret of the A string. Now let's go back to B flat. So when I put a flat on that note, it does the opposite of the sharp. It moves the note down 1 fret. So B, 2nd fret, B flat, 1st fret. Okay, so sharp raises the pitch, flat lowers the pitch by 1 fret on the ukulele. Okay, and then we've got the note C. That's the 3rd fret of the A string, C, which makes perfect sense because when we play a C chord, that's the note we have to hold down, and that's a C. Some people get confused between like the note C and the chord C, but don't get confused by that. And when we play the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and that's another good way. I guess when we learned the scales before, we didn't really talk about what the names of the notes in that scale are, but if you play your C major position 1 scale, it starts on the C string open, and the notes in that scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. They just go alphabetical going up, and then when you go down you have to go backwards through the alphabet, which is a little bit harder to think about. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. The music music alphabet only goes up to G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then after G, the next note up is A, and so on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's no H note in music. So when we play C major, we start on C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, and then we could keep going up. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on. But all we have to worry about right now is A, B, C. But that's a good way to find a note. Like if you want to find, say, the note F, and you don't know where that is, well, you could play your scale. C, D, E, F, and there it is. That's F. And also, you have a chart on your chord chart that shows you where all the notes on your ukulele are. All the natural notes, anyway, which is what we call the notes that don't have a sharp or a flat. Okay, so we got natural note, a flat note, a sharp note, a natural note, and another natural note. Okay, so let's do number one. A, B, C, and so on. So A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B, A, B, A, B, A. Let's do number two, starting with A again. This time it's going to go A, C, C, B, A. Okay. Ready? Number two. Ready? And A, C, C, B, A, B, A, C, B, C, B, A, and so on. So one thing you want to do is don't try to guess the note, okay? You have to see the note and remember where it is on your ukulele, okay? And it's also good to think about the name of the note, because the way our brains work, when we give it a name, it helps us remember what it is, where it is, and so on, okay? And all the answers are up here. It's not a guessing game, it's a matching game. And you want to remember the place where this is. And if you can't, just go back and check, okay, until you do remember. Let's skip down to here. Let's play the Spanish theme. And watch out here, because we've got B flats. These are not the second fret note, but the first fret note, okay? Spanish theme. Ready? 2, 3, 4. A, B flat, C, B flat, A. That's one thing that maybe we didn't talk about is, you see in measure 26 we have 3 notes that are on the B place on the treble clef, but we only have to put 1 flat there, and the flat carries over to the next B flat and B flat, all in one measure. It doesn't carry over to the next measure, but for one measure, all you need to do is put the flat once, and then all the notes that are on the same line or on the same space will also be flat. B flat. Sorry, I didn't mean to make a pun there. Yeah. All the B's B flat in that measure, okay? Let's do this again. All right. Ready? And A, B flat, C, B flat, 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 A. Okay. It doesn't really sound very Spanish when we do it like that, but I guess if you put the chords in there, it sounds a little bit more. So, I don't know, that's my Spanish impression there. Anyway, make sure you play through all of these lines. The repetitiveness of that helps you to solidify where those notes are in your memory. Okay, let's take a look at notes on the E string, because that was just a review of things you should have done already. This is the next thing that you should do. Now, it gets a little bit harder by the time we get down to moving from string to string. We have to remember where the notes on the A string are and also the notes on the E string. And I'm trying to make a good case for like really daily practice. You know, this is why we have to practice every day, because we want to remember these things. When we play our scales, you know, we want to memorize position 1, because now we're working on position 4, and you know, it's always adding on, adding on, adding on. And you want to have some things that are memorized. Same thing with the notes. You know, we've got 4 notes that we have to think about, but now suddenly we've got 8 notes that we have to worry about, or 6, or however many. So the first one is E, open. That's the bottom line of the treble clef. Every good boy does fine. So E as in every, E. And that makes perfectly good sense, because we know that this is the E string. So when we play that string open, we're playing the note E. And then F is the first fret. Okay, if we play this position 1, C, D, E, F, it also lines up with these positions, okay? F sharp, remember when we sharp a note, it moves up 1 fret, so this is the 2nd fret. Okay, and it's also called G flat, same note, so either F sharp or G flat. And then G is the 3rd fret. Okay, C, D, E, F, G, E, F, G. Okay, let's do number 1. All right, we're gonna go E, F, G. Ready? And E, F, E, F, G, F, G, F, E, F, G, F, E. Okay, don't overthink this. It's a very simple thing. You're learning a couple notes and then playing the same notes. And remember, it's not a guessing game, it's a matching game. So here's E, and here's where it tells us where it is. And here's F, and here's where it tells us where it is. Here's G, and here's where it tells us where it is, okay? So it's as easy as that. Let's do number 2, starting with E. E, F, G, and so on. Ready? And E, F, E, F, G, E, F, G, F, E. Moving from string to string, okay? So the first 2 notes here are E and A. Those are our open strings. So E open and A open. Ready? And E, A. And same thing in the next measure. E and A. Okay? Now this is going to be F and A. All right? F, A. Same thing in the next measure. F, A. And then we've got G, G, and A. Ready? And G, A, G, A. Hopefully you remember where A is by now, okay? Next, G and B. That's the second fret. B, G, B, E, open, and C, third fret of the A string, and F, first fret of the E string. Okay, so that's a little harder, but that's a good way to practice changing from one string to another and remembering where all those notes are. Okay, all right, so let's do one more world beat, then you can do the blues on your own for your homework. It's going to go E, F, G, and then A sharp. Okay, that's the first fret of the A string, so watch out for A sharp. Okay, ready? And E, F, G, A sharp, G, F, E, C, A sharp, G, F, E, F, E, F, G, A sharp. Next line. E, F, G, A sharp, G, F, E. Measure 30. E, F, G, A sharp, C, A sharp, G, F, E, F, E. Okay, and what I was just doing there, I was saying the names of the notes as I was playing them, and that's a good activity for you to do as well. That's called Say It and Play It. E, F, G, A sharp, G, F, E. And that's a good way to kind of form these connections between where the placement on your fingerboard and the name of the note and the note on the treble clef staff. Okay, so do notes on the A string. Make sure you've done that page. Notes on the E string. You have one more down here, the blues, to do. Or at least as bluesy as we can get on just two strings. Okay, and that's it for today, and I will see you in the next video. Mahalo.